One. Good morning, Mortgage Coach community. Today I have Casey Cunningham on today's call. What's up, Casey?
What's up? How are you?
I am awesome.
Awesome.
So I haven't said thank you yet, but I want to thank you for that last call we did for new loan officers. I don't know, man. It just seems like a lot of new loan officers are coming into the space. And I'm also seeing an acceleration of success stories, just new loan officers coming in, and within 18 months, they're killing it. So thank you for that call. I've got a lot of good feedback on it.
You're welcome. You think about it, they don't have the bad habits, right? They don't know what they don't know. They just do what you tell them to do.
They do. So by the way, if you missed that and you're listening to this, there'll be a link below in the description. The last interview Casey and I did. And I mean, if you're new in the business, must watch. And if you know someone that's new, forward it to them. So Casey, I wanted to hit a different topic, although I think it's on point. I saw that post in Chrisman, I don't know if it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, but you were basically talking about how, mortgage leaders need to invest in their people. Sure. And before I let you just beat up my community and say, guys, we need to lead more. I want everybody to think about the compression wars that are taking place in the marketplace right now. Think about the technology that you're investing and deploying to your staff. And then think about how much are you investing in training, and by the way, skill-based training, not like, hey, we told them, we showed them once, why aren't you doing it? But I'm talking about, real leadership and skill-based training and do more than just roll it out, but teach them and train them and keep doing it for quarters and months and years. So Casey, expand on that post on what do you think the best mortgage leaders, and one last thing before I let you riff, we want to address the C-suite, but we also really want to address branch managers, because I mean, that is where the loan officer meets management. And so speak to both C-suite and branch managers about what it looks like to be a leader in today's world.
Absolutely. Listen, I had to respond to Rob Crispin's post, because he basically said in the post that our industry is compressing. We've got shrinking margins. Everybody's trying to elevate their sales force, and they're telling them that they got to elevate and they have to do 3 units a month. If they're doing 2, or if they're doing 3, they got to go to 4, but yet they're not showing them. And the question I ask is, if you tell someone to do something, but you don't give them the path to do it, there's a high probability they're going to get lost or they're going to be ineffective or inefficient, and they won't hit the goals. And so, we exist at Zenix to professionally develop people. But, it's interesting because I just so appreciate what you're trying to do and what you do today, Dave. And do you know why the majority of C-suite and or branch managers don't invest in their people? Do you know what I think the reason is?
Well, I want to know what you think the reason is.
They don't believe that they're going to get a return on it. I mean, here's the reality. If you know that an investment's going to pay off, then you certainly would do it. But there's this old adage or myth, if you will, that, hey, I've tried training in the past and it didn't work. Well, there's a lot of reasons it may not have worked. Might have been the wrong training, might have been the wrong person, maybe the training wasn't process driven, maybe it didn't energize people. You can put all those elements. So whether you choose to do business with Zenix or you choose to do business with another training organization, ask for results, ask for proof, ask for testimonials, and then your professional development will pay off. But I can tell you, I just read an article. You'd love this, Dave. And they interviewed 40,000 employees, if you will. And they found that 94% said they would stay with their companies if they were being invested in development. And it doesn't change for the salesperson. If you want to retain people, we had a very large organization engage us, and they put about 1,000 people through our program. And this is years ago, but the point is still the same, because we did a metric together. I said, what is a successful partnership at the end of our engagement? And guess what their number one was? It wasn't production. It was retention. They were spending the amount of money to replace every person that left them, from recruiting and the lost opportunity, the amount of production they lost, etc. And it was so staggering. And they found that they had a 20% lift in retention just by professional development. Now, we measure everything. So I want people to hold us accountable. But when I saw Chrisman's ad and said, the reality is people don't believe that an investment in their people will pay off. And now we get the mentality and the question all the time, who should pay for it, right? Should it be the executive, the C-suite? Should it be the manager? And if the loan officer doesn't have any skin in the game, they obviously won't take it seriously. And I'm like, wow, how about the executive or the branch manager who has these people that in their lives in their hands? How about they say very clearly, we're in this together and we're going to win the war. And they lead them. How do you lead them? By saying, together we're going to go through professional development and follow a process that has a predictable outcome. And together we will win. It's not you have to go do it. It's we want to do this together. I came from very different organizations. One, Dave, is real similar to our industry today. Loan officers are highly independent. Nobody tells them what to do because they're commission sales guys. I get it. I was one of them. And then I joined another organization who had a little bit different mentality. We're going to win market share. We're going to dominate our markets, and we're going to do it as a team, which means every single person that worked there had to elevate their game. When you have that kind of culture, you rise to the occasion. And so obviously I've dedicated my life to professional development. We measure everything. We have, just so y'all know, my objectives for anyone in the industry, 40% lift while they're in our program is one of our programs. Right now, we measure, are our students doing 3 things: attending the classes, executing the assignments, because our performance programs require you to execute, and are you getting a lift? Because if you don't get a lift, it doesn't really help if you just attended and executed. So we're watching for the lift, and when we don't see it, coaching, refining your scripting, talking about your activity, your strategy. So that's one program. Another one's 50% lift. So you go through the question. One, give them a roadmap. The reality is they need it. I think you've heard me say this before, Dave, right? There's 2 things when people don't change. It's either a lack of will or a lack of skill, right? So how do you know if they have the will? Because they could lack the will because they've never been given the skill and taught how to do it. And so there's a way to weed it out and a way to find out, do they have the will? And I did a blog recently that just said, ask them the question, are you happy with your performance right now and where you are? If they say no, then you have an opportunity to help them. If they go, yeah, I'm really happy, then maybe you walk away.
So a couple things I want to share. So one, today, right before this call, I was on Facebook and I had noticed an article that talked about Amazon and how they're actually funding education that could actually get the employee to leave. Actually spending money to educate employees that could actually help the employee leave. So and it goes on. I mean, the punchline is they feel it's so important to educate and deliver that type of education that people will stay longer, if they know that they're spending money and educating them. Now, again, I am not here to advocate anybody in the mortgage industry should teach people to do anything other than their job that gets them to stay. So I don't think that's right for us. I do think for Amazon and the story makes sense. But to invest money in your people will help you get more people. It will make them better at what they do. And then I also want to advocate that there's a lot of content out there. While I believe that new loan officers should go through Zenix training and make the investment, hey, Casey's blog is fantastic. Are you following just some of the content, the call that we're doing right now, the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel? There is content that is in the marketplace that you just need to make the time. And so I do think you need to sign up for training. I do think you need to put people through programs like Zenix and drive it. And I do think when it comes to new loan officer training, there's nothing better than Zenix. And I think all the training that Zenix does, it's like if you want to be the best fighter you can be, you want to have all the belts. You want to learn from new folks. And Zenix training is one of those things that until you've gone through it, you don't have all the certifications, you don't have all the belts, you haven't learned from the best until you've gone through that. So I do also want to have a conversation with this community. So if you're watching this at either our YouTube channel or you're watching it in Facebook. If you have a question for Casey or I, put it below. One of us or both of us will respond because we're both passionate. I mean, we are at a point in our industry when just about everybody has to reinvent themselves. If you're new, you got 18 months to get with it and kill it. And by the way, if you're not new and you haven't made the digital transformation, that means you're using your CRM, you're using your point of sale app, you're using the Mortgage Coach Total Cost Analysis app so that you are an amazing human being that are connecting in a human way, but you're leveraging technology to help you connect even more. If you haven't made that digital transformation, you've got to reinvent yourself, and the clock is ticking. Competition is not coming. It's here. I do think, some of the compression, I don't know, I heard an executive call it the compression wars, is like there's, I mean, some of this, some of it is seasonal and some of it's unique to some things that are happening, but some of it is just, it's the new norm. There is a paradigm shift that's taken place in our industry. And I do believe arming your sales force with the right tools and technology, teaching them and training them, that is the path forward, So Casey, I like to keep these to 15 minutes-ish. Any other parting words of wisdom for folks listening to today's call before we wrap it?
Dave, I just recently got to interview 4 very influential and I'd just say amazing executives. And they all, by the way, these 4 executives were handpicked by me of men who are leading their organizations and have invested in their people. And they have corporate partnerships with Zenix where they basically get all of our services and our professional development. But in my interview, it was really intended to find out what was the catalyst for them to decide to do it. And I asked them some questions about how they built their culture and what they want their culture to reflect and what they message out to their people. And there were so many profound moments. I got to tell you, I was taking pages of notes as they really shared that when you want to build a culture of excellence and really have people rise to the occasion and be at their very best, the culture's got to be about care and love. And when you care and love for somebody, you want the best for them. And when you want the best for them, you help them grow. And imagine going, and this is, I use the analogy, Dave, let's play baseball, right? You and I go to the baseball park, we play and just practice, and we're on a team, but we never have an intent to go to the Super Bowl or to the World Series or even to win a game. We just practice. Well, it'd be really boring. And our industry, when we only just come in and originate every day, you can get burned out. But imagine if you're saying, we're going to go and be the very best in the market, the difference it would make for each person to step up their game. Because when you go to a team that's got poorly skilled players, what happens to you, right? You up your game when they're better. And so I just challenge all the executives and the leaders today to really think through the process, because our industry has not really embraced, I own the professional development of my people. There's the recruiting war going on, and I'll get some of yours, you'll get some of mine, but we'll pay a premium, right? And the question I challenge you with is, why pay the premium in the recruiting when you can just invest in the people that you already know and love, and they will rise to the occasion? It's been proven time and time again as we measure the results. So that's my
I love that. And I would just throw one aspirational goal for everyone is that, 2020 is coming. There's something about the number 2020. And I also think that when you look at what's happened, because again, my people are the referral-based local lenders and loan officers.
Yep.
And you look, and I'm not going to mention brand names, but let's just say technology companies that do mortgages. Mm-hmm. I will mention one brand name. I mean, Amazon, the threat of Amazon coming into our space. And by the way, the opportunity of Amazon coming into our space that, as an executive and a branch manager, 2020. Now, there's things we got to do today, but there's things we got to do by then So get some dates that and some of them are like, what are we going to do this quarter to win the price compression wars and to reduce rate shopping and win, and then have some 2020 goals and lead. And at the end of the day, branch managers, you matter. Most of you are producing branch managers, so leading by example is important. But having sales meetings, being an accountability partner. And by the way, if you're the kind of branch manager that I lead by example, make sure that you've got a culture of accountability partners. So maybe you're not the accountability partner, but you have loan officers that are. But guys, leadership is more important than ever. Casey, thank you for taking time to deliver value. Folks, if you have questions, put them below. Please like this. If you got a value from what we talked about, give us a like, share it with your mortgage friends. And Casey, I can't wait till the next time I see you in person and have you on a call.
I'm going to wear black next time, Dave.
I'll wear white next time.
Wear white. There we go.
So
Have
we'll switch it up.
Awesome day, everybody. Take care.
Take care.
Bye, man.